traditional shotgun and Sunday school. Don't really care what you think, 'cause I've been asking around, and you know what I found is most of us believe the same things. And I won't conform, my mind ain't gonna change. I'm just like concrete, I'm all mixed up and set in my ways.
Hey there, YouTube. Bear here, Piper, coming at you guys. It's been a couple weeks, ain't talked at you. It's been super crazy busy. A lot of stuff going on. Just haven't been able to upload anything. Working 2 jobs now, so that's eating up a lot of my time. I've been filming a lot, just haven't had the energy to edit. Therefore, nothing's been getting uploaded. But I thought I'd take some time today and put out a video that I filmed a couple weeks ago. That I wanted to get up, so I thought it's 2 parts of film, so I thought I'd get it up for you guys. And I got a couple of videos I'm gonna try to edit today, so hopefully I'll have some content for you this week. Got some couple first impressions that I filmed. Hopefully I'll get those up for you guys. Just like I said, it's been really busy. So first up, this is a little housekeeping here. I'm smoking my newly acquired Peterson tankard. As you can see, it's a pretty small little pipe. Decent sized bowl though. It's very thin walled, as you can see. So it doesn't smoke super hot if you're smoking an English in it, which is nice. I haven't smoked any aromatics in it, only because I feel like if aromatics would just be super hot in this. But it's super nice. It's what they call featherweight, so it clenches really easy. Really liking this pipe. And in it. I'm smoking some Peterson 1865. Got this bag from Billy. He didn't want it anymore. He didn't like it. He didn't smoke it. So hooked it up, and I really like it. Actually, it's of the Peterson blends that I smoke that I like. I think that one so far is right up with University Flake, which I really like. I think those two are my 2 favorite Peterson blends thus far. And another thing, I'm using my tamper that I got from Four-Eyed Piper. I won this during his live GAW. Deer antler, really nice detail on this thing. This thing is super cool, man. I love it. So thank you to Four-Eyed Piper for this, man. This is totally my style right here, and it works great. I love it. But I do want to give you this shout out because this thing is awesome. Very cool. Love it. I use it. This is my sitting at home tamper now. It doesn't go in the truck with me. It sits at home, stays on the shelf when it's not being used. But very cool, man. Much appreciated. Okay, so this video that you probably saw from the title is about a press that I did where I made my first attempt at pressing a plug. So I had filmed the first part, and then I filmed the second part, which was me actually loading this press up, and there was no audio when I went to review it later, there was zero audio. Like, I don't know why something happened, but there was a day I filmed like 4 videos, and I think 3 of them had zero audio, and so yeah, that kind of sucked. So I don't have that footage, so that's not in here. But so this is gonna be a combined video of the initial part of me putting everything together, and then the last part where I opened it up and all that. So really, the only thing that you're not gonna see is gonna be me putting tobacco into the press, putting the clamps on it. That's the only part that's missing. So I'm assuming that most of you can just use your imagination for that. But so anyways, without further ado, guys, like I said, missed you. Been a lot of cool stuff going on, a lot of good content in the YTPC the last couple of weeks. I've been watching, I just haven't been commenting. Just been a little out of the loop, but I'm gonna try to be back as much as possible, time permitting and all that. So, all right, guys, enjoy the video and take it easy. Hey there, YouTube. Pedro Piper coming at you. Today we're gonna do something a little bit different. So I'd been kind of interested in blending a little bit. So I had been looking into that, trying to find ingredients, things like that. And I've been watching a lot of videos from Clint, the frozen backing blender. Really love his stuff. Actually, once I'm done with this video, I gotta shoot a VR for him. But anyways, so that really got me. So then that got me interested in pressing, and I was like, I want to try to give that a try. So I started looking into videos on pressing, and me, I like to, how can I make it? How can I do this and make it myself, or how can I do this effectively with as little money invested as possible, and still do it right? So I found a lot of videos where guys were using the PVC tubing, the 3-inch PVC pipes, and that seems like a viable option. But I was like, I didn't really, want to go spend money on PVC and things like that just yet. Just because I don't know if I'm even going to like it. So I found another video that a guy did. I found it on Reddit, so I don't even know who did the video. So I can't even give credit to the person. I bet I could if I looked it up again. But this guy was doing a press using a cigar box. So I was like, wow, that seems like a good route to go. And then when I saw that, I remembered that there's a cigar shop here in town that they just give away cigar boxes. There's a couple that you can buy. Most places around here sell their old cigar boxes, but this shop, they just give them away. So I went in there yesterday and I got this Oliva Series G box, and originally it was hinged, so it opened like that. And then, so what I did was I just took the hinges out, took the little clasp out, I cut a little off of each end, so that now, you can see it fits right in there. So it'll go in and it'll work as a press. Now, I realize that is very thin wood, both on the top and the bottom, and on the sides as well. So is it going to hold up? I don't know. We'll see. This is an experiment. But to keep the top and the bottom from cracking, which is what I'm guessing will be the weakest part of this, I cut out a piece of 1/2-inch ply that's slightly bigger than the box itself. So that'll give me a nice even platform on the bottom, good and sturdy, so I don't have to worry about, hopefully you don't have to worry about the clamp cracking the bottom as I tighten it. And with the top, I just took a piece of 2x4, cut it. It's slightly smaller than this, and I did that intentionally so that when I go to take this apart, the 2x4 will just fall right out. It won't be wet. It's not going to be wedged in there. Like this might get wedged in there a little bit, and getting this part out might take a little bit of doing, but the 2x4 part should just slide right out. Now, what's cool about this is if I only get one press out of it doing it this way, it's no big deal because, like I said, I got this for free. But I'll know if it works. And another thing about this is a lot of guys that I saw were using pre-existing blends, and they were just mixing different stuff together and then pressing that. Well, I've got a lot of stuff that either I don't really care for by itself, or stuff that I don't have a lot of left, and I just want to clear out the jar space. So that's what I'm going to be using for this. And so there's no recipe involved. This is strictly an experimental blend / press. So another thing I got was I went to the dollar store and I got a roasting pan from there. I also got a little spray bottle that I've got distilled water in, and that is to moisten the tobacco because some of these blends are a little bit dry. So I'm just gonna start throwing stuff in this pan, and then we'll go from there. So the first thing I'm gonna throw in here is this blend that, if you remember the review on it, I wasn't a super fan of this, and it's the Daughters and Ryan Ryback. I just wasn't a huge fan of this stuff, so I figure we'll use it for this. Get out. Alright. And the thing too is I don't know how much I need for a press this size. I don't know any of the, first time, so it's all experimental. So like I said, hopefully this works out, but we'll see. Okay, the next thing I'm going to put in there is I got about half a pouch of 1/2 and 1/2. Gonna throw that in there. And that's another thing. I don't know if stuff being different types of cuts. I don't know if that's gonna affect this. I'm assuming, and this is all just assumptions and guesses, I'm assuming that once it's pressed together, that's not going to be a huge issue. Okay, so there's that. The next thing I'm going to put in there is this here. This is straight burley. That's all this is. So I'm going to add that to it. Like I said, just some straight, it's like a square cut burley. Very similar to the cut that that 1/2 and 1/2 has. Kind of that real small squares. What else are we going to put in here? Another blend that's just kind of okay by itself. And this one, I forget what was in this. This is the Wild Atlantic by Peterson's. It's just some Orientals, Virginias, Latakia. Just a real basic blend. It's okay, but it's not super great. So we're gonna throw that in there. And all of these are super dry. Oh, that looks like a stem. So get that out of there. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna spritz this real quick. This spray bottle kind of sucks. Dollar store special. I don't know, you know, it is what it is. So, like I said, just spritz that a little bit. Try to get it moistened up a little bit if I can. Wow, there's quite a few little stems in this. Okay, so now another pouch I've got, and this is a full pouch of this, is some Super Value chocolate. So we'll go ahead and we'll throw that in there. Start to add some little aromatic essences to this. But so far everything in here has just been pretty much unflavored blends. So get that in there. Another one I've got here, this is it's called Classic Nut. It's an aromatic. Throw that in there. So far, this is looking pretty good. So now what I'm going to add to this, and I think this is going to be the final component to this, is some of this. So this is, and I gave some of this away, so I had a lot more of it. But this is what I have of that melting pot. Which is just a grab bag of different aromatics that have just all been put together. So there's unknown blends in here. This is a blend that I got from Billy. So, and I've gotten 3 different batches of it from Billy. So I have no idea what's in here at all. So we shall see. I think it kind of works with the idea of what this is supposed to be. Just kind of a, so just sprinkle some of that in there. Yeah, maybe a touch more. There we go. So now I'm just gonna keep mixing this up. Now, I'm not sure how wet this should be, so I'm just spraying it. I'm mixing it and spraying it as I go, mainly because a lot of these blends that I'm using were pretty dry. So, you know, I'm just afraid that if it's not wet enough, that it won't compact right. I don't know. It's just a thought that it should be pretty damp, or I mean not soaking wet, but I think I'm gonna call that good. Looks pretty decent to me. It's well mixed, it's not dry. For the most part, it doesn't seem dry. Oh, another thing, I'm wearing gloves. Just because there was one video I was watching, and a guy pointed out the fact that, you know, nicotine is very easily absorbed through the skin. So, they recommended wearing gloves. Otherwise, you know, if you're mixing by hand like this, you can get a pretty good buzz going if you're not wearing gloves. So, that's what that is. Okay, guys, we're back. So, here it is. It's been a week. I've been slowly pressing it. For the first 4 days, I was cranking it. After about the fourth day, it wouldn't go down anymore. It was just tight. So I've let it sit. It's been a week. This being a first time, I figured a week is probably long enough, and it looks like it's pretty. Looking in here, if I had to guess, I'd guess we're down about here. So I don't know how big of a press, like how thick it's gonna be, anyways. So we'll see when we get it open. All I did was fill this up, drop the lid piece that I'd cut in there, put the 2x4 in there, and then I took this piece of ply here that, like I said, is slightly bigger, put it on the bottom, and took my clamps and just pressed it down. Tried to keep it as even as I could. But so without making this too long, let's go ahead and let's see if we can get this out of here. Okay, there's that 2x4. Let's see here. This is gonna take some doing, so give me a sec while I try to figure out how to get this out of here. That is in there good. Alright, I'm gonna cut you guys off while I try to get this out of here, and then we'll come back. Okay, quick update on this, guys. A little bit of... Okay, so like you said, it's trial and error, so first round, you need to come up with a better solution. I think this would have worked a little bit better if maybe I hadn't left the bottom on here, so I had more of a way to just push it out. But I'm gonna keep working on this and we'll come back. Okay, so finally got it out. That's what that looks like, all gooey and gooey. And what we got out of it was this. So let's go ahead and get this guy unwrapped. Let's see what we got. Like the corners are a little bit, let me see here. So the corners aren't like super packed. I think that's because of the way that the wax paper was sitting. It did that, the corner, because this is, like I said, this is really loose. But the middle of it's really nice and dense. It smells really good too. So, Alright, so real quick, what are the takeaways from this? Trying to do this on the cheap, super cheap. Did it work? Yeah, it worked. It's pressed. It's nice and solid, but the thing is, I think that the cigar box method just doesn't really cut it. Because I had it wrapped in the wax paper, but it soaked right out of that paper, and like you can see the inside of the box, and that's what made it like really hard to get out. So I would think maybe one of two things. If I did do it that way again, using the cigar box, I would probably want, first of all, to remove the bottom of the box, and then just put like the plywood directly up under it with like maybe a cutting board or something, that so it's not making direct contact with the wood. And that way, when you go to remove it, you can just push it through instead of trying to pry it out of the box. I think that also probably contributed to the ruining of the corner. But I think what I'm going to do is, like I said, I'm definitely going to do this again. But what I'll do is I think I'm going to just invest a little bit of money, go the 3-inch PVC route, and then just try that. And definitely next time I'll probably try to go more than a week. Like this worked, but I think, I don't know, I think a little bit more time and it would have been maybe a little bit better. But all in all, I'm happy with it. I mean, you can see it's pretty. I mean, it flexes a little bit, but it's pretty. I mean, it's pretty dense. So, all right, that's it. Experiment over. Now I'm gonna cut it up, and I'm gonna put it in some old 50-gram tins that I have. Wrap it in wax paper. Put it in that. So, all right, guys. Thanks for watching. As always, have a great day, pleasant evening. I'm Patriot Piper. See you next time. Later.